been told you've been following on the fish tank stuff. I won't get into too many details on it, but I'm part of a server right now that is creating some content, and I've been told to make a song for a character called Xavier Ravenblood. So I'm working with some people to like maybe make something with that.
The fish tank stuff, are you caught up?
Absolutely, man. I've been watching it since it started. I'm a huge fan. I'm happy to say I got to work with Josie on a track a while back. Super awesome. I was super happy for the opportunity.
I think I've seen that, yeah.
And season 2, I was trying to keep an eye on it because I think I was unemployed at the time, or I was like kind of working through some stuff, so I didn't have a lot
fish
to focus
tank
on.
viewer.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But the thing with that one was like the fans being part of it made it a little bit harder, because as a fan myself who's also auditioned for the show, it's like hard to see people who are fans sneak in, because then you know like the magic of people not knowing that it's like Sam Hyde reality TV show. It's kind of ruined.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw it kind of degrading, but there were some iconic characters that they'd bring back for Blood games that I really enjoyed. And then I did not watch Fish Tank at all. I don't know any of the memes or lore between that one. And then 3 has been on a downward spiral recently.
So could you update me? Could you update me on season 3? Because here's the thing. I know pretty much seasons 1 and 2 what happened. I watched weirdly a lot of season 2. I don't know why. Probably because I was caged in a basement working on a Sneeko video. But anyway, for season 3, I have really not consumed anything. All that I know is that there's a gentleman by the name of Bert who gives me some of the most aggressively odd aura I've ever witnessed. It's like a very, very high aura individual is how I will put it. And so yeah, I don't know if you would want to give me any kind of a breakdown. Like, this is honestly perfect because I reacted to some Bert clips out of context. Dark Bert emerged. I basically just came to the conclusion I cannot consume this without context and understand anything. So if there's any kind of overview you can give me of this season, so that for those of us who are not tuned in, you know what I mean?
Sure, I'd be more than happy to. I'll get you with the beginning of it. Fish Tank season 3, the premise was they were going to bring a bunch of narcissists in and have it be run like an actual television show, and then pull the rug from underneath them and tell them it was Fish Tank later on. The first season they ran it legitimately, but they kept the whole veneer of it being like a bunch of guys with like a CKY aesthetic, where it's like, we're just going to do a weird and see what works. And then with season 2, everyone was a fan, so they were just more trying to push them and try to cause them to like get more unhinged and torture them more. With this one, what they did was exactly. With this one though, it's a little different because they started off in this nice mansion almost. And all the people who came in, like, literally knew nothing about Fish Tank, with the exception of 2 who knew about the name because of some legal documentation they got in their email. But they kept them on. They were weird enough to, like, make it in. So at first they were, like, trying to pretend the show was on Hulu. They were trying to say, like, you know, we're trying to keep things PG for, you know, our audience. We have an AI that is going to talk to you. The computer is being trained by Harvard, MIT AI. But it was just, like, the Fish Tank live audience talking to them.
That's awesome.
At first, things were really interesting because you had, like, your typical Hollywood stereotypes with a bit of like mental illness here or there. There's a guy named Alex who's not with the show. He's like the most interesting character in a meta sense. He's like this really loudmouth guy. There's always a guy like Jimmy and John are like 2 examples of like the archetype of someone who's very loud and braggadocious, but when it comes to fighting or doing anything isn't really much. But the background on him is that he has like an abusive wife. Like, he has a wife when he came in, and she's like 300 pounds, like this absolutely. I'm not trying to dog on anybody who's 300 pounds if you're out there, but she's not a kind woman also, so it adds to that. She abuses him. When she gets on the show, Alex is hanging out with this blue-haired girl named Binks. I'll elaborate more on her later. And she just like smacks the crap out of him on camera, completely whacks at him. She puts his face in her ass and says, "You love this, don't you?" Like, she's like a complete cartoon character. And he also has a daughter who doesn't respect him. So he's like this sad tragedy of a man who apparently comes from some money because his dad has a lot of it.
Yeah, I just read the description. Apparently the dad might be worth like hundreds of millions or some. Yeah.
Who knows, man? He can't afford a lot, so I think it's more just like his flex because that's something his family lineage is going on, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have anything going on at all. So he eventually left, and now he's been posting Instagram lives about his situation, about how he's realizing all this truth without realizing that, you know, Fish Tank is a live show and it's not going to air on Hulu or anything. So him making these like little, yo, Sam Hyde, he's the ghost of Kiev and all that stuff, like it's not going to affect anyone except for those who like want to follow him now as a lol cow. So that's one guy.
The Alex guy, I've seen clips of the Alex guy going, like there's a clip about him talking about how is not funny and all that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that
Was
one.
there any other iconic moments that I need to know about this guy? Or?
Oh, absolutely. You just reminded me of one. So the whole rape thing was because there was a guy who was posing as a character named Wild Randy. And Wild Randy was saying he was going to like his baby monkeys and stuff. And Alex was getting pissed. So the show decided to like use that rage bait and to pretend to bring Wild Randy on, say like he's coming to the house.
Mhm.
And they fake him out initially, but then they bring in Frank Hassel to play the role of Wild Randy.
I see.
And it just gets very unhinged.
This is Frank
If
Castle.
anyone who doesn't know who Frank Hassel is, he is this real life hassler. His initial content was he'd go to like Walmarts or like different like stores and he just harass people for like memes and stuff. He's definitely morally in the dark zone because he's not exactly like a great person, but in terms of content he's very funny. He's just this like lumbering tall man.
Yeah, most people who don't know who Frank Hassel is would know he is the guy who went to Boogie's house and had Boogie pull out the gun and shoot the warning shot. Right. In a lot of ways, that's probably his most popular stunt, I guess. He's a professional hassler, and he's been brought on, I believe, to, every official season of Fish Tank so far to basically bust the contestants' balls, effectively.
Yeah, every season he comes on to sort of like push the fish to sort of get him on edge. And he's a huge fan favorite because of the fact that he doesn't have any like particular boundaries. With this season, though, he got beat up a ton. Like, really? I think people were more afraid of him because they didn't know who he was. Because season 2, they knew who he was because they were fans. Yeah. And then season 1, they were just like kind of younger people. Yeah. But because everyone's in their 30s and stuff and have probably more fragile egos because most of them are narcissists, like they just straight up punch him in the face, stab him with pens, I think. Damn. They got him. Yeah, he had to leave at some point. The funniest thing about this season was they actually paid him fish bucks to leave. They paid him like $3,700 of their own fish bucks just to get him out of the house. So
holy that the contestants paid money to have him leave.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, never before have they done that to Frank, because usually he just leaves on his own volition or people just get used to him being around. But I think these people just didn't like getting like their stuff taken away from them from their backpacks. And he generally would always just make a mess of the house if the freeloaders weren't doing that. So it just makes sense. I think that they think money solves problems if from where they come from. I see why that'd be the truth. Yeah. Going to another character, let's talk about, I don't want to blow my load to really talk about Bert. So let's talk about the other two main ones because there are currently 4 people remaining. Mizzy recently got out. Mizzy was like this singer. She's like a musician, but she's kind of like a cringe, like rock musician kind of girl. She's 100% a narcissist, allegedly.
100% allegedly.
Yeah, 100% allegedly, totally a narcissist. Yeah. And she's just, overall, she's like non-tent, meaning that she doesn't really do much for the house except for like maybe create drama from time to time, but she likes to have the attention on her. She wears like, leggings all the time, and whenever like there's not enough attention, she'll like show her butt and do all that kind of stuff. I see. But and that's not me being like kind of sexist about it. It's just more that like whenever she's on camera, she's always trying to appeal to the fans in a way that makes sure she's in the center of attention.
I get what you're saying. It's like kind of cheap in a way or whatever.
The main thing I'll just say is that she just wanted people to see her. Mm-hmm. So, she got out recently because I don't remember what the challenge was, but I thought for sure Bert was out because they've been gunning to get Bert out for a while because I'll get into why he's probably the worst of them all.
Worst?
100,000% worse. If he was not in that show, I would not be surprised if he was to later be in jail. So I'll get to him last, guaranteed, and I'm just going to get for the main one just so that everyone knows if they do decide to jump in from here, like what the main people are about, they'll get that idea, but Bert has the most lore for sure.
Okay.
So the remaining 4, I think, are going to be Symbol, Peyton, Bert, and Binks. Yes. So Symbol is his whole thing is people don't like him because he's Indian. Go figure, fish tank audience. Most of them are kind of racist. He's kind of quieter guy. He's getting into becoming more of the heel of the show, like Letty from the first season, where initially she was just kind of like trying to be the typical streamer girl, and then she started adding a little bit more energy of a villain. Yeah. He's kind of going that direction because he realizes no one likes him.
He's embracing his role, basically.
Yeah, he's sort of realizing it, and he's been doing better in challenges because he wants to win, especially now that he's in the final 4. Yeah. But he's also gotten used to the Indian stuff being like not cool.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of just going along with it. So he's interesting to watch because he might actually win. It ends up usually that the person who's a floater tends to get pretty far, and he's kind of fit that description. The other 3, maybe not so much. Peyton is the youngest of them all, I think. She's 19 years old, and she was probably the hardest hit with the fact that like stuff was going to change when Famous House switched to Fish Tank. She's pretty normal. I mean, one of the things is that she's a lesbian. There's men in the house that might think she's attractive, but it really doesn't faze her, and she doesn't really like guys that much. And
Gotcha.
just in general, the guys there just kind of suck.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say she's non-intent, but she's definitely not as entertaining to watch as the rest of them. Binks is the e-girl. She has blue hair. She knows a lot of internet stuff. Mizzy kind of knows the same amount as her, but Binks knows about Ice Poseidon. She knows about Asmongold. She knows about all the typical internet stuff. She might be older than 30. I don't really know. They had a bit where they did a lie detector test. And I don't know if they revealed her age, but she's definitely older than she's putting on. And a lot of women that are like narcissistic and get to that age, I can see why they do that. Like they continue the persona of like being an e-girl, even though they're like well out of the girl range.
Sorry,
I think she's basically that.
Sorry, so it's speculated that she's older than 32? I see it's listed she's 32 or whatever.
Oh, I said older than 30, so I guess then she's 32 years old. I guess so speculation.
What does she claim? What does she claim to be or whatever? I don't have any sponsor, but we do have these brand new Hubert NPCs, okay? These physical items. It's a snow globe. There's no water in this one, but we are selling a limited supply of these. I also have a gold one. We have these NPCs. They're custom made, okay? Very cool. And all you got to do is go to gokamerch.com, all right, and sign up for the email list. That's all you got to do. Once you're signed up to the email list, you will literally just be only notified when these are available. And from there, you'll be in the loop, basically. You know what I mean? We also have, some cool merch items, whatever. You want to support your boy in my, I've yet to cave to any gambling sponsorship offers, okay? I'll eat a banana if you ask me. No, I'm just kidding. But that's basically the best means to support me. For those who are inquiring, okay, buy my merch, gokamerch.com. All right, if you want to be involved in the community, if you're an artist, whatever, join my Discord. And if you want to watch a bunch of main channel content that has not been released yet, go to my Patreon, okay, patreon.com/Gokanaru. Thank you very much for watching, and man, sign up for that damn email list, bro. These NPCs are fucking cool, and I hope that I can make money through making stuff instead of, just taking on sponsors and not that I don't give a shit about, We'll see what time reveals for me, but until next time, have a great week, okay? Mwah.
I think she's acting younger than she is.
I see.
It's just more that like she's acting like she's in her mid-20s and like her early 30s, and that's not a horrible thing, but for the case of like people who already have negative positions about women, it's not an amazing thing to be on the show. Mm-hmm. There's people who've been like that. I think Sylvia in the first season would be a good example of somebody, but I think she fits more of the Mizzy archetype where she's kind of emo and doesn't really have much to do. What was
the character in season 2 who was literally just a punching bag that was like an older woman who what was the context?
Season 2 older woman.
It was Mizzy. You might have said it, but no, Mizzy's this season, right? It was
yeah.
They made it a meme that Ben would come in season 2. Ben would go in when she was sleeping and like play Minecraft videos or some shit like that. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
I think I do. But I don't know how old she is. There was a girl that was a fan of Jimmy's, and I don't know if she made it to the final 3. A lot of the women who were there, I think they looked relatively young. I can't think of like an older woman who was on season 2. So when you say that, it kind of throws me for a loop.
Oh, she was a squatter of fish. She was a freeloader, sorry.
Oh, I don't know if it was Nifty. Nifty's on the season 2.
It was Nifty.
Yeah, Nifty's on the season 2, and I have immediately negative feelings towards Nifty because she revealed in The Cell, which was like a very small spin-off of Fish Tank, that like she was like 19, had a relationship with like a 16-year-old, which is ick in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So as funny or as interesting as she can be, she gets very philosophical, especially in this season, because she's like brought in to sort of be the consultation person and explain the lore of Fish Tank to them. But it's hard to really redeem yourself after a certain point when people know too much about you. And she kind of went above and beyond sharing like her life, I think, just to keep the interest of the people watching the show. And it kind of ruined it for me.
Wait, so sorry, Nifty's in this season?
Nifty is in this season. She came on as a freeloader. So she's also there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had like a little thing I think yesterday, she did something where she was like goth makeup and started cleaning the house.
Yeah.
But she's there for sure. She's for sure there as a freeloader. Not the best one, but definitely one that kind of helped the show because they're asking Jet a lot of questions about, hey, what is Fish Tank? What are these? And so she was kind of brought on to kind of ease any of their questions about it without having Jet like walk away from his control station. So
Yeah,
uh,
I was bringing up Nifty just to ask if Binks was at all comparable, just because I don't know, they sounded kind of similar, but yeah, they're both 32, I guess. So I don't know.
they're all hot topic archetypes. Mizzy, Binks, and Nifty. They're all just like just a lady you know what I mean? They're people
Yeah,
that I'm sure you're familiar with online and offline. So
gotcha. Yeah,
but yeah, no, Nifty, no, I'm not going on. But let's talk about Bert. He's the last four. With him, we'll go into like we'll amp it up. So initially, when he came on, he was like a porn actor. He explained that he had like
really?
his own service. Yeah, his thing was like Daddy Bert. He had these cards he'd pass out, and he talked about some of his like some of the stuff he'd do outside the tank. Like he said that he's had white people like hire him and call him the N word while having like sexual relations and stuff like that. He
Gotcha.
seems to be pretty shameless about those kind of things because you'll definitely see why in a minute.
Okay.
On top of that, he also is potentially schizophrenic or schizoid typal.
Yeah, it says
He
he's autistic and has schizoaffective disorder.
There you go. Yeah, for sure autistic. His thing is he's always trying to find patterns, which that's pretty stereotypical of what people would
Yeah.
expect of somebody's schizophrenia. So he does like or schizo whatever you just said. Very typical of that.
Schizoaffective, yeah, whatever.
So there were points where he was writing notes. There were points where he was suspecting like there were codes in some of the events that were happening. One
Yeah.
of the funny ones is that there's a bit with Jed and Ben where they do the Ball brothers and the blue balls specifically. He thought there was something with the blue balls, so the chat's been memeing him up about like there's something about
Yeah.
balls being blue that are important.
So the
Especially
chat basically like feeds into his delusions or whatever and like amplifies them.
Oh, 100%. He believes anything chat says, and it doesn't help that a lot of staff try to talk to him through the same method.
Yeah.
Especially Xavier when he has like a little excursion. Xavier Rainblood from Blood Games makes an appearance when Bert is taken outside the tank to go and hang out with him and do some Blood Games related stuff. But good HD quality stuff. I won't. I will let you see the magic of that on your own. There's like a full maybe like an hour and a half long video of what he did when he was out doing stuff with him. But the main thing is that he's kind of unhinged. So when he went on there and did that, it was just because he's like good content to do on his own. So they just kind of took him out to see Xavier for that reason. But going back to Bert, Bert also he's a very hands-on kind of guy. He likes to touch himself. So in the first couple seasons when he didn't know he was being recorded, he would he would just whack off into a blanket. So he just do that quite constantly. They have a word for it. It's called birding off, and he does that rather frequently. Even now that people have revealed to him that he is on a show that is live recorded 24/7, he still does it. So he must be. I'm assuming he's a gooner then. Like that's his thing. He just likes to touch himself. But it gets weirder from there because he does it to people who are on the show. He does it to he did it to Peyton, and he told Peyton that he did it, that he thought of Peyton while he was touching himself, and there's video evidence of that because he'll say her name while he's doing it.
Oh,
he also
shit.
did Frank.
Damn.
Frank Hassel. He had a relationship with him where Frank was pretending to have a potential romantic relationship with him, but then said, "No, I was using you for views and money." It was it was fun to watch, but definitely just they orchestrated that themselves. But Bert, he even then he likes the fact that people mess with him, so he still is attracted to Frank. He was attracted to Alex when he was on. I don't think he's been attracted to Symbol, but the whole thing is that Bert just can't stop getting attracted to people.
Yeah.
But this is where we get into the weirder stuff. When he first got on, he said his dream role was to be a serial and murderer.
Yeah, see, that's the clip that I saw, and I was just like, is there any context that makes this in any way fucking coherent? Because it's literally one of the worst clips I've ever seen of a human being, where he basically said his ideal role. He's an actor, and his ideal role is basically being the worst kinds of criminals you could imagine. But yeah, go on.
Sure. I'm sure it comes from some sort of unrevealed trauma. But he has clips online if you look up his stuff. If you look up I think his stuff's pretty publicly out there. He has a link tree or something. But if you find his YouTube channel, a lot of his stuff is him being mean to women, or like there's one specifically where he slips something in their drink, and he has this whole little speech about how he's gonna abuse the lady or something.
What? Like this
So
is like he's
there's
acting type shit?
as an actor, yeah, he has
But
like
it's like
actual
he
acting
likes
credits.
being the weirdest fuck. Is that the thing? Like a predator, basically.
100%, he loves that role, and they give him opportunities to play it, but they make sure to indicate that he's not supposed to actually like diddle anybody. Like
Yeah.
he's not supposed to diddy it up in there. So there are a lot of scenes where there was a point where there was a prison one, and he literally said, "I will stop playing as a contestant to, I'm not a contestant. I will stop playing as a warden to be a prisoner." So they brought him in as a prisoner, and then of course he initially starts doing the whole "I like the way you look, boy," like trying to get all onto
Yeah.
the male prisoners there.
Yeah.
There was a time where he was told he was just gonna be one, so they turned all the lights off and then had him go chase people around the house in a game of like hide and seek tag.
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun to watch.
I
The
saw
funny
that
stuff, if you want a good clip
he
to
ran into
watch,
a door during that, right?
oh, it's so funny, dude.
Yeah,
It
he
was
ran
so
into
good.
a fucking door, yeah.
He broke it. I'm not sure, but on that same day, if you want a good clip to watch, there's a scene where he's playing out the fantasy alone in the bedroom bathroom area, and he's basically just pretending. He's acting like a and killer, and he just kind of gets prompts from the chat to say crazy stuff to the camera, right? And one of them was that Sam had brought Jeff in to watch in the dark without Bert knowing, and
Yeah.
chat said, "What do you do to Jeff?" And then he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I would get into his tight hole and do all this stuff," and Jeff's just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Like kind of like this guy's kind of unhinged. But a lot of the stuff, I think it isn't. I think it's weird because in confessionals, he'll go into deep detail about how he wants to be this person. But then when they say like, it's like illegal, and he's like, "Oh, it's a character. It's just a character I want to play." But I imagine there's it's hard for him to distinguish the reality of those feelings with like his desire to be an actor, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
don't really see him as like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a long acting career as a." I don't see him like getting any big shows or TV
No.
appearances like that after that, especially even after the show.
Yeah.
He's definitely a fish tank bound. I don't really see him doing more than fish tank
Yeah.
after this, unless he gets more clientele from doing the show.
He's a
But
lifer. He's a fish tank lifer, dude.
100%, yeah, I can see him coming in as a new Frank Hassel guy if he can, like, if they can train him properly to like do crazier stuff because he's very scary. He's a very scary guy.
Yeah, well,
Um,
he has again that energy where it's just like unpredictability for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but everything he does, like every single time he gets an opportunity, he wants to do that. He Let's see what else I really say about him, because I think the biggest thing is that like yeah, he has the serial killer stuff, like it keeps coming up, and even Sam has told, I think Sam told Symbol like I do not want Bert winning the show because he's confessed to like all this crazy stuff, but obviously they can't just
Yeah, rig it.
rig it in their favor,
Yeah,
and
because
say like, oh,
he's
we
like a
won.
fan favorite, right? As well.
He's 100% a fan favorite. Like if it were up to the voters, Bert would win almost every single time. So they've had to really limit the audience participation in votes
They had to
and
nerf
kept it
Bert.
more insular.
Yeah, they nerfed his
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. And then besides that, I mean, there are the contestants that are really enjoyable. Like Job is my favorite. He's my favorite freeloader, and I think he's one of us. He's a Discord guy, I believe. They initially sold him as like the cousin of Jet, but I think he's just a longtime Discord friend of Jet Neptune. So I could see, that kind of guy getting on the show, and he's great content in my opinion. He reminds me of one of the guys. He's just a funny dude. He's a
Yeah,
classic.
I've seen this guy lurking
Classic
around. Yeah.
Um, and then other contestants, to my memory, not so important. There was another like gay black guy. I can't remember his exact name. I don't want to say the wrong name and be perceived as like racist, but it started with a J.
Yeah,
And he was
LaRon.
interesting
Sorry, LaRon, I
person.
think.
Accurate, the Ron, yes. And the Ron, his whole thing was like he was definitely very eccentric. Like he said he was like a baby whisperer. He could tell what kind of babies people would have, and uh, like he had a lot of little weird quirks. But he was not very tolerant. He pretended he was from like a very like hardened background, but like at the drop of a pin of something going wrong, he would just like completely just lose all control.
Hmm.
So I didn't really see him as like a serious. He was a funny lolcow kind of character, but he didn't stick around long enough to really like add any real effect to the fish tank experience. There was a lady there that was like a mom or like a 3-year-old kid or something, and she was kind of like
Alexis
doing that. That's right, Alexis. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not getting the names. I'm just
No. You're good, bro. You're doing great. This is
yeah, with
this
her
is epic for the record. This is great. Like, dude, you're fucking helping me because, to be honest, I have no clue where the fuck I would go to even get context about what I've missed. You know what I mean? This is good.
Yeah, she basically she was a big deal in the beginning. She left around the same time as LeBron,
Mhm.
and she was just worried about her kid, but she was also kind of being a little deviant on the show. You know, kind of dancing a little bit erotically, which is a bit weird for I think a single mother.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Do you have any questions? Because I'm kind of falling into the gray area. I don't really know what to elaborate on.
Yeah. So, sorry, we kind of glossed over it, but you're telling me that they did not fucking disclose to the contestants that it was a live broadcast show? Like they thought they were on a reality TV show that would basically be edited and all that?
Yeah, well, their hope from the beginning was to have people who knew nothing about Sam Hyde and MDE
Yeah.
to go on. So this is like the next level of like they don't want them to even know about Fish Tank because it
Yeah.
has enough notoriety now that if you look up Fish Tank,
Yeah.
you'll find stuff. So if anyone had any idea, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It was to a point where like they didn't know enough about the energy of the house. They thought it'd be more like Big Brother, where the drama would just be people yelling at each other.
Yeah.
That the plants at the time who didn't last long, I think his name was Owen. Owen did like some MDE level stuff in the beginning, like he was kind of like being a little devious, and they kicked him out because he got too crazy too early. But all he did was like throw a pumpkin and push Symbol around a little bit, like drama wise.
Yeah.
But they kicked him out
Was he
because they want them
racist?
to
Was that like
stay.
a
People are saying he's like this might be a meta. I don't think Owen is racist. Owen said the N word on Big Brother, which is how people know him. Is that he was on Big Brother and then he said the N word.
Understood.
You can look up the clip for sure; it's out there. But
Okay.
Owen was on the show, and then he was one of the only few to ever get like taken off Big Brother because usually you don't like leave Big Brother.
Him and Andrew Tate, man. Him and Andrew Tate.
Oh, was Andrew Tate on? Oh, I didn't know that.
Andrew Tate was on Big Brother. He got kicked off because he has a fucking video that got leaked or whatever of him hitting his girlfriend basically, but like first like sex fucking like kink play shit. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem for the show because they try to clean up a lot. Like I know people who've tried to audition for stuff in Hollywood, and they try to wash everything away from you so you can start new for whatever they got going on. So with him, I could see there being a problem because your career should be afterwards in their eyes. So yeah, and plus Andrew Tate's fucked up, and what he does is fucked up. So I could see why that alone, even if like his stuff from his earlier years got out, I'm sure that would be enough to kick him off too. So. But yeah, let's see. Going into Owen.
So wait, Owen was not a contestant or what?
He was. He was on for at least a couple days, but he was a plant. In every single season, they have a plant. You might remember in the first season. What's his name? He was a rapper /
I forget.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. Like he was on as a plant for sure, and people were already speculating about it, and then he got taken off and brought back on like briefly to kind of mess with them, and then went overboard with how he treated Letty's stuff and how he was talking about Letty, and he just kind of realized he was kind of going above his character. For season 2, I don't remember who the plant was, but you know what I mean? Like, there's always somebody. And so Owen was the plant because he knew about the show. He did an interview, I think, with Cindy and Jimmy.
The plant in season 2, was the fuck, I forget her name, but it was an Asian girl, and she also basically got sussed out like almost immediately, I believe. Like she was she was also, I think, the only one who wasn't a fan of Fish Tank. So she was like completely fucked, basically, like out of her element.
Was she the sociopathic type who was very like non-emotive? Like she would not talk very often, and when she did, she had a very monotone voice to it. Because I know someone came back as a freeloader, but it wasn't her.
No. Look, fuck. All I remember is that she seemed like the most normal person who just, I don't know, Cole. If you remember Cole from last season, Cole kind of had
Cole seemed pretty normal.
Yeah, I don't know. I got the vibe she was, but I wasn't fully like fucking aware, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, not to do.
Yeah, let's focus on this season. I apologize. I appreciate the input with the Andrew Tate stuff, and I definitely appreciate anything you know about season 2 that I don't know because, like I said, season 2 I was focusing a lot. but I'll admit a lot of what I learned is also from React Simply and Fish Tank Digest / AB.
I
Shout out to
see.
AB. He's
That's the
been posting every single day
egg boy.
updates.
Yeah.
He rocks. Definitely watch Fish Tank Daily if you want to keep in touch with stuff, because I have a life now and it's hard for me to like focus 24/7 on Fish Tank. So I'm happy that this is
what's his at again? Well, you might not be able to kill an idea. You sure as hell can kill a person. Bad faith? Sounds kind of cool, to be honest. I think I'm gonna make that my first merch line.
It's been such a long time coming.
Fish Tank Digest, or AB, I think. AB
Okay.
is a lot harder to find generally, but if you look up Fish Tank Digest, he's been doing it since I think the beginning of season 2.
Yeah, I think I was watching his shit at season 2. Yeah. Damn it!
Yeah.
I can't
He also
fucking-
covered Blood Games.
Oh fuck! I can't find it. Fuck. God damn it. Fish Tank Digest. Come on.
Yeah, it's got the blue profile picture that's from the opening screen of the season 2 Digest videos. But if you don't find him on there, he's definitely on YouTube. Just look up Fish Tank Digest and then like any day, and you'll come up with one of his videos. It's like a picture of the contestant in black and white green and text in like big white font.
Okay.
But
Thank you, sir.
yeah, anyway, going into back to just to wrap up on Owen.
Yeah.
He out early because they were scared. They're scared they would get the fish tank like rattled up too early, and they wanted to kind of like keep gaslighting them for as long as they could, and then slowly turn up the heat so it could be kind of like frogs in boiling water. But it didn't work. Mizzy found out about stuff really early on because they thought they could trust her, and they did like a little Neo Matrix thing, and they're like, take the blue pill and keep playing the game as normal. Take the red pill and learn the reality. And Mizzy immediately used it to her advantage to try to not involve herself in certain things because she realized she knew more, and that made it where they had to force an event where the character, I think his name was G in this one. G came out as Jason Goldstriker, and basically just gave the whole like, hey, we're gonna do the rice challenge. Hey, you think we're in Famous House? You're crazy. We're actually in Fish Tank. And most people stayed except for, I think, LaRon and the mom. And then everybody else basically stuck around for a little longer until Castle came.
So sorry. So like I still don't fully understand the exact meta. They thought that they were going to be on a more like kind of mainstream edited reality TV show, like a Netflix type shit, whatever. But the twist is just that, hey, you're on like fucking degenerate stream fucking like canceled comedian fucking like Fish Tank, basically. Is that the meme? Like what was the twist exactly?
You got it almost exactly right, with maybe some variation to the last part. They were basically trying to sell it as an alternative TV show. That the whole thing about the AI was that, where it was like they're trying to sell that this was going to be like a breaking new ground, and they're going to try to do something new, and that there were a smaller studio that were trying to, make something bigger. And then
so it's like we have high potential type shit.
Yeah, and then they had a fake Hulu commercial thing that they showed everyone, which basically made them all think this was going to be a big deal. And now they ran the show. I mean, at this point, they're pretty well funded, so the camera people looked legit. G, while his costume's a little ridiculous, looked legit. They had Ben doing like this gay stereotype thing and had him be the director.
Yeah.
So he kind of, I guess, sold a Hollywood persona. And yeah, the challenges were very straightforwardly like, stuff that you might expect from that kind of show. Dance challenges and stuff like that. But yeah, initially the idea was just to have them all think they were a part of some sort of other different television show that would eventually get picked up by Hulu and make them all really famous.
Yeah.
But then it just fell apart. And I mean, it didn't fall apart in their favor, which is why I think it's not maybe the best season of the show. I'll still always love like season 1 when they were kind of like trying to test the waters more, and we're more happy with like destroying the house and stuff. But
Yeah.
this one, the idea is cooler and the contestants are cooler than the actual execution of the show. Sam Hyde is basically to study Sam Hyde and is trying to hype up MDE. I'm a fan of MDE. I have a saying because I've interacted with them for a while. Like I was part of Mondo Megabits. I was part of a lot of their older work.
Same
They're
with
kind of like a
Brian Maffat, the motherfucker I've worked with before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was a part of Mondo. But yeah, anyway, sorry, go on.
yeah. Clay Baby Rise Up. With specifically Sam Hyde's productions, my whole thing is that it's like you're getting scammed, but you're having fun getting scammed. He gets money out of people. He makes a good show, but a lot of the time when I interact with his media, I feel like I'm taking a lesser product. Like I love what he does. He's probably alone in his own art. But unfortunately, because there's no one to really compete with him, he knows he monopolizes on the stuff. So he sells stuff for outrageous prices, or he'll, adhere more to the fans than he will for like the show itself. He'll usually involve the fans in some way, which can sometimes be really good. But in my opinion, it kind of sullies the experience because there's so many unhinged people that are on the show, along with people watching that say crazy stuff anonymously through TTS. So yeah, I love the content of MDE, but I have a hard time supporting them just purely for the fact that like whenever I talk about Sam, there's so many scams he's run. There's so much stuff that I understand he's making art, but sometimes I just don't understand the methods as to which he maintains that money and he keeps it going. So yeah, but no, Fish Tank Rocks, I'm a fan. I'll continue watching until it's over, and I'm hoping that not for the against Sam Hyde, but I feel like at some point he's going to do something illegal and it's going to get shut down. And I would rather the show be known by normies as like the crazy show that got shut down than the show that like is for weirdos online. You know what I mean? That like
This
don't have anything going on.
This is the vibe I get from Fish Tank. Especially sometimes I just won't be paying attention. Like there was some shit with I think Bitch Tank, whatever, and then I'll see a clip on Twitter and I'm like, holy shit. How the fuck are they doing this? I remember with Jimmy in season 2, Jimmy felt like such a fucking overt liability or whatever.
Oh my god!
And I was like, on so many fucking dimensions, I was just sincerely confused as to like how the fuck are they getting away with this, right? Like, and it's kind of a big meme in a lot of ways, right? Like they're just
getting away with it.
Yeah, exactly. But it is a thing where like I watch it and I do feel a sense of dread where it's like this will continue until something very fucking bad forces it to stop, basically. But yeah, with fuck, I remember with Jimmy there was so many fucking controversies, bro. Like I could like list them off, but like there was one really bad one that like made a lot of people nervous, where like something along the lines of like. I think like one of the girls was drunk or something was fucked up or whatever. Anyway, they go to the bathroom
hammer.
and then Jimmy goes to the bathroom too or some shit, and people thought like something horrible happened. There's like all this weird shit that like instantly people were just like, oh fuck, what the hell? Yeah, I don't know, but okay.
It's not even going into like the racist stuff because like he would do like the salute and say the N-word a billion times. And like I think he even did blackface in the show. I can't remember, but like he was 100% a 4chan raised individual, and based on like watching his stuff afterwards, I think Pingus Bomb, he's still that guy. It's not changed for him at all.
Yeah, I mean that was he. The way that I saw it was like he literally was. Basically, this was like the peak of his life in like a lot of ways, in the sense of like this is the perfect, like for him that was like the perfect opportunity effectively to he was like very he was like home in a sense. Get to be chaotic, get to be fucking terminally online, but in real life. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he lives in the middle of nowhere, dude. If you watch some of his clips or see photos of where he just lives in the middle of the woods somewhere. So like you're 100% right. Like this is the biggest thing for him, but I'm sure with the influence he has, he might be able to get more done. It's just that creatively speaking, he just streams for like 10 hours and then he doesn't do much with it. I think most of season 2 kind of dropped the ball. Like Josie, I think, is the only person who has, maybe except for I don't know if Sylvia has anything going on, but Josie continues to have a viewership for her stuff, and I think she separated herself from Fish Tank since season 2, but she's keeping it going. You know, she's the only person I think that still has more creative stuff to do as an artist. But then everyone else in season 2 dropped the ball in terms of like getting streaming stuff done or using their connections like at all. Like they're not. There's no season 2 appearances except for freeloaners in season 3. So I just don't see that promise that they gave in season 1 about this will blow you up and get you a lot of followers. I think it's just a lolcow farm now. It just doesn't seem like they're going to have a lot of actual artists walk out of that thing unless they're like women, you know, with a new following or something. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I see. I know that some people from season 2 got into Bitch Tank or whatever, but fuck. Okay, so to bring it back to season 3, what are you forecasting? Like, what are you hoping will happen, right? Like you personally, and what do you think logically will happen?
Okay, here's my prediction, my full prediction on what's going to happen for the end of season 3. They're going to bring people in. I think that they're going to do it legit. They're not going to lie to the contestants. Some people are guessing that they're going to bring in like a bunch of Indians or Mexicans or something and then try to fuck with them, like continue trying to gaslight them. But I think they know Sam too well now to like play along with that, and they might immediately just break the show apart if they think they're being screwed with. So I think they're going to bring in a new cast of people that don't know what the show is. And I think the final 2 are going to be Bert and Peyton. And I think it's going to be those 2 against each other. And I think there's a higher chance that Peyton will win, but Bert might win if it's like a contest revolving around the fans. If it's not, I think Peyton has a higher chance of winning. That's my theory. Because Peyton has been playing a pretty stellar game. She's really good at adapting around other people. There's a video that Fish Tank Digest made comparing Big Brother to Fish Tank. And he talks about the archetypes of characters that play these kind of shows. And Peyton has just been really good at navigating all the social circles and being able to be just a good floater and not really involve herself too much in drama unless it directly affects her. Like the biggest thing she's done is she just like completely punched and destroyed Frank Hassel. When he came on, there's a clip of her like if you want context to try to visually see it, she's in her bedroom and Frank is trying to take her stuff and she just like gives him a haymaker across the like from behind. She like smacks him in the face. And he's just like punching him out. And then Jet eventually had to come in like after a couple hours and say, hey, we're not trying to kill him. He's doing like middle school, elementary school level pranks. We're not trying to assault him. But clearly, like if in the real world somebody did that to somebody's stuff, that would probably be the reaction. So I don't really, dodge pain on that. But yeah, in terms of content, she's not really a lot, but I do think she, the word deserves a win is kind of hard to really put down, but I feel she has the most potential to walk away with the money because she's so good at making alliances. She's good at handling tough stuff happening to her. Whereas Bert is too unhinged. He's too difficult to control and do challenges with. He's not amazing at challenges. Like he's very good at performing. Like, like a role, like when he was doing the dance challenge, when he was doing the challenge we had to play, like he was well regarded, let's say. But in terms of other stuff, he just gets so focused on this like schizoid, like there's some connection to all this and all this other stuff that he's just more fun to watch than it is to see him as like a competitor. He would not survive on any actual other reality TV show because he just can't focus on the tasks unless it has to do with him acting as something. So I think if there was an endurance challenge like they did with season 1 where they just have him like try to stay afloat for long enough, I think Peyton has the guts to make it. That might be an all take, but my guess is Peyton's going to win it. Bert's going to get second. Symbol will stay for third, and Binks will be the next stop. Binks is going to be next to go. That's my theory. I could be completely wrong. Once all the new people who get brought in are taken out, they're just going to amp it back up to Fish Tank level, and we're going to see another endurance challenge similar to 1 and 2, where they have, I don't think a boxing match or like they're going to have them stay in a room, but maybe they'll have like a filibuster sort of thing where they'll have them talk for long periods of time or do an action for a long period of time so someone like passes out. But that's my theory. I don't know. That's my take.
Understood. Okay, and why? Okay, so like you mentioned that Symbol, you could see winning it because he's like a successful floater. Why are you saying you don't think that's more likely than Peyton? Like just because Symbol's like unforgettable, or what's the?
I might have misspoke, or you may have misheard. I was saying Peyton. I'm sorry. Peyton's gonna win. I think
No,
Peyton's
yeah, I
gonna
know
win.
that. My bad. Earlier
With
though, you were saying that Symbol
Symbol
could
is
have
good.
like a bit of a like a rise. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think with Symbol, like that's a good point. I think the thing with Symbol is that I could see him folding faster.
I see.
Peyton
Yeah.
sometimes will say like he's done with the show,
Hmm.
but Symbol, I think he's getting bored, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he seems mentally checked out, even when he does challenges. And
Yeah.
Peyton just seems like he's having fun.
Hmm.
So while I definitely see Symbol being a good heel and continuing for a little longer, it's why I think Binks is next. I don't think he's gonna win. He could be a good versus for Bert, but something about how I've seen the formula go and also how I think they treat the contestants, I think Symbol is going to, if he doesn't break, he's going to lose an upcoming challenge because people don't
Yeah.
like him enough to make it to the last two, in my opinion. Peyton
Hmm.
still has, I think, a decent amount of people who like watching her, but Symbol, while he does have his fans, I think the fans are too racist to fully support him versus like a white woman and a schizophrenic black man, So I
Yeah.
think those are the two. Those are the two for sure,
What a
just based
crazy
on the
landscape to be
formula.
operating in, bro. There's nothing like it. Fuck, holy shit.
That's what I mean, man. Monopoly.
The yeah, true. Okay. And then so who do you want to win? That's a very
I
different question, I think. But go on.
That is a great question. Based on the final four, I mean, I know that freeloaders can't win. If that were so, I'd want Job to win 1,000%. If it
Yeah.
were up to me, who I'd want to win the whole thing, I don't. It's tough because I don't want Bert to win. I do agree with production that like if he wins this
Hmm.
and he gets the money, like what's he gonna do? Like
Yeah.
what kind of stuff is he gonna get involved with when he leaves the tank? I
Yeah.
think that he's definitely like the most like short fuse lol cow to leave, and that he's going to get messed with the worst. I could see
Yeah.
really bad things happening with Bert when he leaves the tank.
Yeah.
So I don't want him to win because it'll blow up a spot.
Right.
I think Payne would be really great to win, and it's not and for simp reasons. I'm not a simp for anyone in the house. I have a lady, first of all, fiance, so I would never say
Of
that. It's
course not.
terrible.
Obviously.
With Peyton specifically, though, I think that she can provide. She knows a lot. She actually has some internet background too. I think that she could create good content afterwards, and I think she could make the most of the money. She could use it for college. She could use it for an
Hmm.
artistic endeavor. She's the youngest of the group, so it'd be kind of endearing to see her
Honestly,
win.
I just saw her punch out Frank Castle. I'm kind of impressed, to be honest. I might be on the wave, dude.
She seems like she's really innocent and doesn't really like do anything, but she like had a weird switch happen
Hmm.
when it was revealed that Fish Tank was Fish Tank, and she's just been kind of vibing since then.
That's
Like she
crazy.
seemed really
She's
proud
just
of
like
it, but
finally uncaged.
yeah, she just seems chill now. Like she's definitely able to play along really well. And at first she said she was gonna leave, but I think it was just because everybody else was overreacting. But now she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna stick it out. And if I get out, I think she said herself, if I get out, I get out. But I'm just gonna keep going. And I think that's a great energy to keep in Fish Tank because the point is to have fun and like if things do go wrong, acting appropriately, like with Frank, it makes sense. So I want her to win because she's a good competitor. She has done well in the challenges, and I just kind of want to see. I want to see her win. She definitely would be an underdog win because people were not caring or rooting for her in the beginning compared to other
Yeah.
winners in the past, like
Yeah.
with the rocking back and forth JC or JT
Hmm.
and Josie. But I think she could do it. I don't want another neurotypical fellow taking a neurotypical person winning it all. I want someone who's more normie-esque. I think she would be great. Binks, definitely no. Binks, I please don't want Binks winning would be the worst case scenario. I
I
do
see.
not want Binks to win.
Okay.
Binks is just cringe. She plays the e-girl stereotype to a T, and I've had enough of those kind of contestants. And having her win, like, okay, maybe she'll have a decent following, but I think people gravitate more towards like those that are different from your typical like run of the mill people.
Hmm.
So I don't think that's going to keep a lot of steam. If Symbol wins, honestly, that'd be kind of cool. But I don't really know what would come of that. Symbol streams to be a director and actor, and he wants to do bigger stuff. But after Fish Tank, I don't really see him getting any legitimate workings unless he works with Sam Hyde on world peace stuff or something. So I don't know. I think if Symbol had the money, maybe he'd give it to his family. Maybe he has bigger plans for it. But I know also Symbol's a little bit of a creepy guy. He's got other things underneath the surface. So I would be interested in Symbol winning just for the sake of the title. Symbol wins Fish Tank.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't root for him. I don't really see him as like a major W at the end of the day.
Understood. Okay. So just to clarify, people did not know that they were being broadcast live at the start of the show?
No.
They didn't.
They thought it was going to be produced, like a whole actual show. They'd be like months ahead. But then when they saw the trailer for Hulu, they started to be like, it's interesting that there's already footage, and there are people who know what I say when they're not in the room. So they didn't know how deep it went, but they were certain at first that it was just a show that they were going to record and then later see on Hulu.
How the fuck is that legal?
The lawyers at Fish Tank are ironclad. They mentioned lawyers recently when they said that they had to send out emails to all the cast members, and I guarantee you that none of them read the paperwork when they got on the show, and that's probably what got them on the show. Is I think everyone that they get on are people that you can probably suspect didn't read the contracts, didn't read any of the things they had to do, and probably sold away some of their personal rights because their clips are being sold for monetization.
What clips?
And promoted. So, I just mean to say that, like, when they're promoted, they're going to eventually sell the show. They're going to sell,
right.
what they're doing. So part of their image as part of the show is on there, and they're willing to screw with them. So I feel like there are some personal boundaries that they've had to sign away in order for that to happen. I'm not saying that like their Instagram lives are going to be copywritten by MD or anything. I'm just saying that like in terms of what they're doing on there to them, I feel like they had to sign a certain level of leniency, saying like, hey, if I get damaged, then it's not it's not MD's fault if I get damaged. If my property gets damaged, I think they even said in the contract that property damage is allowed. So they knew coming in that like their stuff could be destroyed, but they didn't know to what extent that meant. I think they probably thought, oh, if it gets stolen or missing or something ripped, they didn't think that they're going to be cutting up and stapling their clothes to the wall like Frank did with Symbol stuff. So, yeah. Overall, I think that they just thought it was, they were trying to be more private about it. And then when they started revealing the AI and stuff, things got a little more like, know what's going on. Seems a little strange. But they definitely came in thinking they are part of a reality TV show that will eventually be as big as Big Brother. This is the initial pilot for it. And they have big plans to make this a bigger show. And then that just turned to already being a big show, like Fish Tank.
Yeah, understood. Okay. That is crazy, to be honest. I don't know if I've ever heard of a show where they didn't make it fucking overtly obvious that the entire thing was being live streamed. But yeah, I mean, it's one of a kind for a reason, man. That's fucking nuts. Damn. Okay.
There's a show. I'll be really quick. I sense a wrap up. But with there's another show that's really iconic where there was a guy who didn't know he was part of a reality TV show. I can't remember the name, but I feel like a lot of the elements of that was brought in for this season. But the thing was, it made it a feel-good story. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Joe Schmo Show.
Okay.
It was about this guy, just some guy from the middle of nowhere, and they brought in a bunch of actors to basically pretend to be Joe Schmo Show, I'm pretty sure. And the idea was like this plain white bread guy, and their goal was to mess with him. They would bring him on and have all these dramatic things happen with a bunch of actors, and he was the only normal one. Everyone else was an actor. Some of them made it big. I think one of the cast members is an SNL favorite. Another person is the guy who played Cricket from Always Sunny. He's like one of the asshole characters in that show. But they eventually realized that this guy was really sweet and nice, and they realized it was bad to mess with him. So they started treating him nice. And then when they revealed to him that it was all a ruse and that all of his friends were fake and all of his connections were fake, they love bombed him at the end with like a clip saying how awesome and genuine of a guy he is and how happy they were. And they gave him a lot of money. And so, there's always that element to it. Even though he didn't win the show, they gave him all the money for the show. And and they never captured that same magic afterwards. They never made it like, they did a few more seasons, but they couldn't find a genuinely like normie guy like him that was just a sweet person. They just found more people to dog on.
Not out there, dude.
But yeah, you can't find the Joe Schmo Show.
What's that?
Did you find the Joe Schmo Show?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Right, I recommend anyone listening. It's a good show. At least to watch without knowing what's gonna happen. So yeah. Understood,
dude. God damn. Okay, excellent. Mr. Xmast3ry. Thank you for that fucking breakdown, first of all. I am sorry that I put you through that, to be honest, because...
What? I love this. This is
Okay,
awesome.
okay, good. Okay, I'm glad because I started to feel bad because I was like, fuck, I'm making you just basically like I'm making you fucking break down this entire like literally weeks long 24/7 streamed show at like 9 a.m. now probably for you. But if you're vibing, that's
Nah,
good, man.
I'm a professional yapper, man. I love yapping. So don't ever feel bad making me talk unless I'm trying to dip out. But I'm more than happy to chat. So it's all good. I appreciate you having giving me the opportunity to talk to you about it, man. I think you're super cool, and I appreciate your time.
Bro,
So it's
thank
all
you. The
good.
feeling is mutual, dude. I was just glad to see you in the voice chat. I was like, oh fuck, let's see what this fucker's up to. I don't know if you can see in the Discord, but I banished the other two into the extremely evil layer.
Uh,
So they're
I see.
just stuck there for now. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll return them probably in a little bit once I finish whatever it is I don't know. I want, I guess. Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll just ban them from the Discord. No, I'm just kidding.
Not celery, man.
No, that'd be
Celery.
mean. That'd be mean. But yeah, no.
Colorful.
I dude, okay, so here's the thing. What social media do you even fucking use for the record? Because is it just
Ah.
Discord? Like not surely not, right?
Yeah, well, so I have a really stupid YouTube channel that has like this one video and it's literally just a highlight reel. I link some of your stuff in there. I put the HTTP link on the bottom and named the live stream. So there's two clips on my video that has me and your interactions. Just briefly, I cut apart my interaction with you when I showed you the song, my interaction where you talked about my song I made for you initially, which got me kind of
Yeah.
introduce more people here. But
No, that was
that's
epic.
the only clip on there. It's called Video One, and it's just like some stuff I did with Fish Tank when I was doing stuff with the group Wiggleations29,
Mhm.
and then now the stuff I did with you. That's pretty much the whole video on that YouTube channel. I don't think I'll post anything on there until like next year. So
Okay.
if you
What's the
anyone wants to
link, bro?
subscribe, you can, but
Yeah, yeah.
nothing's gonna happen on there
Send me the link,
for a
please.
while.
Send me the link,
Yeah, I'll
please.
send it to you. It's in my Discord information. I think if you go to the
Okay,
bottom,
perfect.
it's verified, so you can click that. And then I don't want to blow these people up because I have my own personal disagreements. But if you want to listen to my music, I do stuff. I did stuff with Wiggleations29. It's cringecore.
Wiggleations.
It's just Wiggleations29. It's a cringecore group right now. The main guy, whose name is Dudu Fardo, he is doing solo work. So he's doing stuff with the producer. His name is Roberto.
Mhm.
They're both. I think Roberto's extremely talented, and I think Dudu Fardo, name, hallowed be thy name. I think that he's also got a lot going on. But in terms of like what I want to work on, I'm not trying to do stuff underneath that title, and I'm trying to do more just like goofy meme stuff that's separate of the brand of Wiggleations29. So while I give a very like back, like sort of like a step back recommendation of it because I'm in the work, I wouldn't be like follow them for future work. They're good, but I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I'm just not like a super big endorser of W29. In terms of other music stuff or all that, I don't really have like social media in terms of SoundCloud. I try to be low radar just because I'm just a guy. I'm not trying to make it big. I'm not trying to be like successful YouTube guy. My philosophy is I like making stuff for people to have fun. I love the fact that I was able to have my stuff be on Josie's live stream and have Sam Hyde react to it and call me a cool guy. I like that you enjoy my stuff and listen
I
to it.
do. I
But
do.
I
This
have
is
no
true.
interest in monetizing my work. I have no interest in pursuing a music dream. I might do Eurovision when I'm like 30 or 40 years old, which is like this European like music song contest.
Mhm.
But that's way down the line. My interest is just to make goofy meme stuff and have fun. So nothing to do is serious. I don't care about my ads. You can go to YouTube, but I guarantee you nothing will be posted there for a while. And my music, I'll post in the Discord more often, but I'm not exactly making anything serious this time.
Damn,
So
blood, you're a man after my own heart. You're a fucking sweetheart, dude.
thank you.
I hope that everything you're up to it goes well, and I hope that yeah, you fucking find a fantastic new life in fucking Germany, dude.
That's more important, man. If there's something that I want to spread out to the people of Discord, right? And I'm not trying to be a boomer, but like moving to another country, learning another language, meeting people from other backgrounds, because there's a lot of immigrants who I'm with, people from Ukraine, from Afghanistan. Branching out and meeting new people is such a beautiful experience. And there's nothing I could recommend more, if online or offline. go meet more people
Preach.
you wouldn't expect to talk to. You learn so much from other cultures and from what other people like, that maybe if you have like a closeted, or not closeted, if you have like a closed-minded view about like a certain community stuff, just to go in there and confirm your biases or meet new people. So I think that it's really important to branch out. And I love my experience here. I love my fiance, and that's right now more important to me than the music stuff, is keeping that going. So,
Fuck yeah, dude.
So yeah.
Interface with the world. This is a fantastic. You're hitting all the fucking notes, dude. You're beautiful message to end it out to. Oh,
Yep.
This has been the Xmast3ry interview, primarily fish tank coverage, but also life update. Thank you for fucking joining us, bro. God bless you.
Thank you for your time. Bless you too. Have a great rest of your night.
Okay, let's watch this. Let's get some context on this fish tank stuff. Peyton is a bigoted turf. Stocks in shambles. Here we go.
And don't transition for someone else. Transition for you. Don't do that.
So this is what the fuck, Binksy? Yeah, Binksy, I think. And then this is Peyton. This is the guy that Xmast3ry wants to see win.
Imagine being gaslit
This is the woman that he wants to see lose.
into transitioning. Yeah, that's wild. It happens. I know
She's
it
painting the
does.
bunk bed.
It's sad. Don't transition for anybody else except yourself.
Escort!
Alright, you know what? That's actually enough.